नाउ द नेक्स्ट वन आपका 7, यूनिट नंबर 7, ठीक है, ECGC आपका this risk in foreign trade and ECGC. So from this one ना ECGC policies, this is very important one, ठीक है. रिस्क वाला पोर्शन तो इजीली डुएबल, बट दिस पार्ट इज समथिंग ना विच इज वेरी कंफ्यूजिंग, ठीक है. बहुत ज्यादा कंफ्यूजन आपका ये क्रिएट करेगा 7th नंबर का जो यूनिट है, जिसमें यूज ECGC पॉलिसीज आपका, ठीक है, रोल इन अदर एरियाज इन ऑल, दैट इज जनरली पार्ट ऑफ दिस वन, ठीक है. सो बेसिकली like in for these exporters, ठीक है, or even as a bank if we are financing to the exporters, there are some risk involved in that particular one. One is आपका counterparty risk which is something related to the borrowers, ठीक है. And another important risk is आपका country risk or political risk. So counterparty risk is basically insolvency of the borrowers, but the country risk or the political risk which is even not in the hand of the borrower itself or the buyer itself, ठीक है. जैसे हमने किसी को एक्सपोर्ट किया in some country आपका, अब there is a dispute between India and that country, तो ऐसा कई बार हो जाता है ना, अभी आजकल जैसा हो रहा है उसमें तो कभी भी हो सकता है, ठीक है. So that means let's say their countries they have put some sort of restrictions on India कि we cannot do any kind of remittances to Indian governments or in India itself. So in that case we are going to have some sort of issues आपका, ठीक है, how that buyer will make the payments and all. So that is not something which is intentionally done by the buyers, but due to this geopolitical things and all, or any kind of war situation or other areas, political instability and all, so that risk that generally categorized as आपका country risk, ठीक है. So it is uncertainty in laws, आपका financial position of the countries, inharmonious relationship between countries, fluid political situation and all, so they generally comes under the country or political risk. The another type of risk is counterparty risk which is the insolvency of the borrower itself, ठीक है. Now ECGC they have categorized countries among these 7 different areas, ठीक है. We have the 7 risk categories of ECGC. So basically as a exporter you can take some sort of references from these particular one, ठीक है. Like significant risk आपका A1, low risk A2, moderate to low risk आपका B1, moderate risk आपका B2, moderately high risk आपका C1, high risk आपका C2 and very high risk आपका D. That means if you are doing some, like if ECGC has put some country in this particular one, and if you are doing trade in this particular country, that is your that is at your own risk, right? And these are some countries where we have very least risky, like we have very good relation with those particular one and all, and very good experiences. So ECGC adopts 7-fold classification covering presently 239 countries. It update and publish the country classification on quarterly basis. The country risk classification आपका 207 country, जैसे we have group 1 where 10 countries आपका rated D are placed in restricted cover आपका group 2 and all, ठीक है. So these are the different आपका जैसे A1, A2, A3 आपका ये जो भी पूरा जो लिस्ट आपका दिया गया, ठीक है. So let's say if it comes to the A1, so A1 we have A1 to 207 countries, ठीक है. So 207 countries, they are categorized between A1 to B2. So these are the safe zone where you can do exports आपका. We have very less political and your country risk involved in these countries, right? If something which is D आपका, like 10 countries which are part of the D things, they are high risky. So there can be some dispute with these kind of your there can be some relationship problems with these countries basically, ठीक है. Or the country risk or the political risk is bit high in these type of countries itself, right? चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. चलो next one guys, it is around the ECGC. So we all know the role of ECGC objectives and all. The important part of ECGC is आपका these policies, ठीक है. So main policies offered by ECGC. Now I have like this is your paper cutting of your book itself. So see, if you open ECGC website, there are 45 plus policies which are generally offered by ECGC to the exporters आपका, ठीक है, or the bank itself, ठीक है. We do not have to go through all, ठीक है. Anything which is given your book आपका, or anything which is newly introduced, mostly आपका standard policies are there, ठीक है, and the question will be around those particular one, ठीक है. So standard policies to exporters to protect against payment risk involved in exports on short term, small exporter policy, specific shipment policies, just export deferred payment, insurance for buyer's credit, a line of credit, again, services rendered to foreign parties. Then we have construction work and turnkey project undertaken abroad. Export specific policy, export turnover policy, buyer exposure policy, then आपका consignment export policy, multi buyer exposure policy, IT enabled services and policy for SME sector. Okay? So these are some major policies, basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So these are the 10 policies which are generally given in your book itself. Okay? So if you go through these particular one, sometime you'll get confused. Sometime you'll also get some sort of confusion around these particular one. But as much as you'll practice now, they will be helpful. I'll give you a basic idea. The insurance product offered by ECGC to banks. So services provided to the like insurance policies which are generally provided by ECGC to bank or to the bank finance basically. So export credit insurance for bank, whole turnover or packing credit. Then we have exporter production finance guarantee, export credit insurance for bank, export finance guarantee, exporter performance indemnity, export finance overseas lending guarantee and transfer guarantee. Okay, so now I'll show you one by one. Standard policy. Okay, most of the policies which are generally linked with the standard policy. Okay. So standard policy we have two. One is comprehensive. Comprehensive means that is going to cover both type of risk, commercial as well as your country risk. Okay? So if it is a comprehensive risk policy which is going to cover commercial risk means आपका that obligor risk or that buyer risk आपका, ठीक है, default by the buyers, that comes under the commercial. And political risk आपका, that is country related risk. So one is आपका comprehensive, another one is political risk. So this policy is generally going to cover only the political tensions, or if like let's say if other country they have made some sort of restrictions, due to those particular restrictions whatever the losses exporter is going to face, that is borne by the ECGC. But in this case आपका default by the buyers or and आपका any political risk involved in that particular trade, that will get covered by this particular one. Okay? So this is a basic difference. Now with every policy you will see there is one comprehensive, one आपका political risk only. Okay? So standard policies like आपका comprehensive risk policy to cover both commercial and political आपका from the date of contract. Then we have political risk आपका which only cover the political one. Okay? So commercial risk and political risk, we all know about this. Commercial, it is insolvency of the overseas buyer or the buyers in this case, and political is आपका the situation like आपका war or आपका revolution or civil disturbance or any changes in the laws by the foreign country itself. So they generally get covered under this one. Okay? Standard policy do not cover the following areas. When it comes to the standard policy, they do not cover commercial dispute raised by the buyer. If there is some, like let's say then some product are defective and let's say as an exporter we have sent some defective product and they have raised some concern, so that is not get covered under this particular one. Cause inherent in the nature of good, let's say we have sent some perishable good, they get destroyed, that will not get covered. Okay? Buyer failure to obtain necessary import or exchange authorization from the authorities, okay? That is something related to this. मतलब like जो buyer है आपका, they won't be able to आपका they generally unnecessary import like that shipments or the exchange आपका, ठीक है, that they are facing some difficulties from their country, default or insolvency against the exporter or collecting banks, exchange rate fluctuation risk are not get covered under this particular one. Small policies, again आपका ठीक है, small policies exporter are defined as exporter whose anticipated total export turnover is within a period of 12 months and not exceeding 50 lakhs. ठीक है, please do a cross check this one. ठीक है, I'll mention here. Just cross check this particular one. Reason being, sometimes they update these areas and all. So if they have updated, so you have to cross check that particular one. Okay. The policy provide against commercial risk covering insolvency, buyers, failures to the buyers to make the payments within 2 months of due date. Okay. So it also provide आपका political risk, imposition, then same things आपका ठीक है. If it is about the आपका small policy which is providing within a time frame of 12 months, 50 lakh turnovers, it is covering your commercial risk as well as political risk. Okay, nothing new. The only time duration or the limit also. Okay. Specific shipment policy, short term. Okay. So provide cover against commercial and political risk involved in export of goods on short term credit not exceeding 180 days आपका ठीक है. So this is specific 180 days आपका ठीक है. And cover under the policies आपका basically the exporters or the buyers under the contract, these policies can be availed for the exporter who do not hold comprehensive policy covering the shipments in the specific contract आपका ठीक है. So specific, if they do not have any specific like that is not part of their contract standard policy, so they can go with these kind of riders also. They are similar to riders, insurance riders. ठीक है. Short-term policies, specific shipment policy covering commercial and political risk, specific shipments, political, only political things, and specific shipment, insolvency and default of LC opening banks and political risk आपका ठीक है, that is commercial risk also. Insolvency of the buyers, failures or basically commercial risk covered by the short-term policy, the same one. ठीक है, इसमें कोई ज़्यादा change आपको नहीं दिखेगा. Political risk covered under this particular policy is our same, again same आपका ठीक है. Whatever comes under the political risk, they are generally part of this one. तो एक बार इनको ना आप लोग go through कीजिएगा. And if you find any difficulty or any confusion ना, so you can send me on Telegram. I'll try to explain you with that particular one. ठीक है. So almost everyone is similar, but one reading is must for this particular one. ठीक है. So ECGC product for bank. This portion is again very important one. Okay. So ECGC product for bank, where basically sorry, whatever the services we are providing to the let's say we providing some sort of credit facilities to the exporters. So ECGC in some ways they generally provide some sort of protection to these type of financing, and that financing is that insurance coverage is up to 90%. Okay. We have 10% is generally borne by the bank itself in case of any default, right? It should be mentioned somewhere. Okay. So ECGC issue following type of insurance looking to various need of exporters or financial institutions. Packing credit insurance, export protection, आपका post shipments, export financing guarantee, export performance guarantee, export overseas lending guarantee and all. So products, I'll packing credit आपका ठीक है, for the packing loans and all. अच्छा एक बार just I want to move forward. ठीक है, post shipments, credits, these are basically policies आपका. If you'll go through these particular one, हाँ, the extent cover varies 90 to 90% this for ECGC and 50 हाँ, okay. The banks, export overseas lending, claims आपका, that is, this is the procedure how basically this part is very very important one. हाँ, इसको थोड़ा सा अच्छे से पढ़िएगा. Please go through those policies and आपका ECGC policies and banks से related products उनकी policies आपका ठीक है. Now this part is again very important. Some important points to be noted with respect to claims. Let's say if exporter they have taken some policies from the ECGC, so while they are applying for the claim, or let's say they are routing through the bank, our bank they have provided some sort of credit to the exporter, and that buyer become defaulter or the country become there is some political risk or the other due to those particular when we face some sort of losses. In that case, when we will apply with the we will apply for the claim with ECGC. So they'll make the payments in the banks. And now there are some guidelines related to this. Exporter to submit the claim form within 12 months from the due date of the unpaid bill and ensuring that premium on policies are up to date. Claim will not be settled by ECGC for more than 4 buyers during the policy periods. Okay? It is something, let's say as an exporter, we have done export in 5 different countries and all the 5 they become defaulter. So you will get claim for only first 4 आपका, ठीक है? Because there is some policy. मतलब this is something कि यार आप जहाँ भी export करो आपके defaulter ही हो रहे हैं. That means there is some problem with your overall आपका journey or whatever you are doing things and all ना. So that is they have limit this one up to 4 buyers. ठीक है? 4 default उसके बाद नहीं मिलेगा. Claim will be paid directly to bank accounts, bank who had handled the export documents. Bank can appropriate the claim amount directly to post shipments advances accounts, if any. Settlement of claim amounts by ECGC does not relieve the exporters of the responsibility by realizing proceed. All further recoveries to be shared with ECGC on a pro rata basis. ऐसा नहीं कि आपने यहाँ से claim भी ले लिया और कल से आपका जो buyer है उससे पैसा भी ले लिया. That is not going to happen. So you have to take care around these particular things. ठीक है? चलो next one guys. Unit number 7. ठीक है? Unit number 7 आपका ECGC policies. ठीक है? जो आपका ECGC policies हैं, that is the most important part. So ECGC policies and ECGC product for bank. These two subtopics are very important from this particular one. ठीक है? तो now I'll take a break for 5 minutes. ठीक है? तो चाय ब्रेक लेते हैं बढ़िया से. Then we will continue this particular one. ठीक है दोस्तों? Everyone guys. So those who missed the session, आपका those who अभी स्टार्टिंग से जो लोग नहीं थे तो यू कैन स्टार्ट वॉचिंग फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग इटसेल्फ. और जिन लोगों ने जो लोग आपका साथ में बैठे हैं 7-5 बजे से, वी स्टार्टेड दिस सेशन एट 5 o'clock. तो आप लोग आपका जस्ट टेक अ ब्रेक फॉर 5 मिनट एंड वी विल रीस्टार्ट दिस पर्टिकुलर वन. ऑलराइट गाइस, चलो तो क्वेश्चन में रख दो यहाँ पे. सो सेल वी स्टार्ट गाइस, सेल वी स्टार्ट. यस, चलो तो ऑडियो वीडियो इज फाइन ना? यस, ओके. तो क्या होगा करेक्ट आंसर? व्हाट विल बी योर राइट आंसर? So now next unit is आपका unit number 7, very important one, and most of the time you'll see the questions around these particular areas, right? So ECGC policies and product for ECGC product for banks, they are the major areas they get asked every time, most of the time basically. So yes, module A marathon part PDF provided in Telegram. Harish sir, I have already uploaded on application itself. If you are not on application, I'll share in the Telegram group what I can do. So the problem with Telegram is something like once we upload, you can see the chat also. Let's say if I have uploaded module A, then after some time someone will join, then they'll ask for the same thing. तो ऐप, इफ़ यू आर ऑन ऐप, दिस इज बेटर. इट इज़ ईजी फॉर मी. कई बार मैं अवेलेबल नहीं होता हूँ, ठीक है. सो इफ आई एम नॉट अवेलेबल देन लाइक यू विल गेट लेट रिस्पॉन्स इन ऑल. ठीक है. सो इफ यू आर ऑन ऐप यू विल गेट एवरीथिंग. सो यू कैन डाउनलोड एवरी फाइल्स और even though you can go for the mock and other also. ठीक है. So rest just after this session I'll upload the entire PDF आपका. ठीक है. Module A marathon first part, first and second part the comprehensive PDF I'll upload just after this session, no worries. चलो, तो what will be your correct answer guys? Which of the following statement about the export credit insurance and ECGC limited are correct आपका? What will be your right answer guys? So export credit insurance help exporter to manage such as buyer's risk, seller's risk, shipment risks in international trade. आपका without any doubt this statement is true. ECGC Limited, established in 1957, government-owned organization that provide credit risk to promote India's exports and all. Political events such as war, coups or economic difficulties in importing countries can delay or block the payments to exporter, increasing the need for the export credit insurance. That is generally categorized under the political risk or the commercial आपका country risk. ठीक है, it is also known as political or commercial आपका country risk. Export credit insurance only protect exporter from commercial risk. No, both आपका commercial as well as political risk. ठीक है, so this comes under the आपका buyer's insolvency and all that generally comes under commercial risk, but it also cover the comprehensive policy. Basically the comprehensive policy of ECGC, they generally cover both commercial as well as political or country risk. Okay. The role of ECGC include offering export credit insurance product to both exporters and banks. आपका 100% true. तो 1 2 3 5 1 2 3 5 हाँ 100% true. Option A will be correct answer for this particular one. ठीक है, so option A, this is the only statement which was wrong and very basic statement, because it covered the policies of ECGC. They generally cover both commercial as well as political risk. ठीक है, चलो next one. Why private limited, an Indian exporter, is engaged in international trade with multiple overseas buyers and sellers? Recently, why private limited faced several challenges during major export shipments? ठीक है, so now you have to what we have to find out again. So these are the challenges. First, we will study the challenges. The overseas buyer delayed payment, citing doubt over the product quality. The shipping company handling their goods experience a strike, delayed shipment by 10 days. Some goods were damaged during transit, and there was an incident involving sea pirates causing a partial loss of goods. Samundri luteri, Daku. Additionally, a sudden depreciation in invoicing currency affected by profitability of the transactions. Sudden depreciation in invoicing currency means, let's say if it is invoiced in dollars, so that dollar got depreciated. That is the meaning of this particular statement. Again, why a private limited is also concerned about the potential fraudulent documents based on the so this is our question. Basically, based on the above case, identify the correct statement related to type of risk why private limited has encountered. ठीक है, so the different type of risk आपका. ठीक है, so statement one आपका, statement one, the delay payment by the buyers related to buyer risk, specifically credit and quality acceptance risk. ठीक है, the delayed payment by the buyers relate to buyers risk, credit and quality acceptance risk. Okay, this seems correct आपका. ठीक है, there is no issue with this one. ठीक है, statement two आपका, the shipping strike are and piracy incident fall under the shipping risk affecting timely delivery and safety of the goods. This is also correct. Currency depreciation affecting profit is an example of currency risk. बिल्कुल सही है. Risk and foreign trade basically. The concern about the fraudulent documents relate to other risk, particularly legal and settlement. This is also correct. Since why private limited has faced multiple risks, the risk reduce automatically over time as parties get fame. No, this is not necessarily. We cannot say कि बाद में वो लोग सही हो जाएंगे. So 1 2 3 4 हाँ, option D should be right answer for this particular one. Why no one is answering this question? ठीक है, D should be right answer for this one ना, because we do not have any assurance आपका कि वो automatically सही हो जाएंगे. ठीक है, or these issues will get resolved. So basically he should this Y private limited company, they should enter into some insurance things and all to protect these to protect their business or the trade from these kind of activities, right? So D आपका 5-1 is incorrect here, because risk reduce over time only when parties build trust through the repeated transaction. A single events or a new supplier's risk does not guarantee the reductions also, right? So this is the one. Next one. Identify which of the correct descriptions of the type of risk associated with export transaction. Very easy one. चलो बताओ क्या होगा दोस्तों आंसर इस क्वेश्चन का. What will be your correct answer for this one? हरीश सर, हाँ हरीश सर ने मुझे बिल्कुल सीरियसली सुना है एंड ही landed on application quickly. See, if you are part of application na, you will get definitely more benefit. आपका benefit is like कि you do not have to depend on me, you can directly download, and there are even the old PDFs are also there if you want to practice through them also, so you can go through those particular areas, right? And the other thing is like I'll be adding more mock and all, okay? And just after CIB, I'll be adding some more areas also, so that they'll help you in your overall preparation journey and all. Okay? We'll be coming up with the once I'll get free with this JIB things or CIB things ना, CIB things basically. I'll explore some other areas like जो आपके सर्टिफिकेशन एग्जामिनेशंस होते हैं उनमें आपको कुछ ना कुछ कंटेंट मिलता रहेगा, ठीक है? तो मतलब इफ़ यू गिविंग स्पेस इन योर मोबाइल फॉर दैट एप्लीकेशन यू विल डेफिनेटली गेट बेनिफिटेड, राइट? चलो बताओ दोस्तों क्या होगा आंसर इस क्वेश्चन का, व्हाट विल बी योर करेक्ट आंसर? सुजाता मैम आपका, शिल्पा मैम एंड पुजिशा मैम ऑल आपका डी। अच्छा, कि पहले वाले क्वेश्चंस का आंसर अभी कर रहे हो या इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर आ रहा है, और एल्स आई एम गेटिंग योर आंसर लेट, व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन? चलो बताओ क्या होगा आंसर इस क्वेश्चन के लिए? Okay, maximum people are saying D, all are correct. There are some candidate who get bored with the reading statements and all, I guess, right? Santosh sir, why all? एक बार दोबारा से पढ़िए statements को आपका. Credit risk involve the possibility of non-payment due to the buyer's insolvency, or this बिल्कुल सही है, ठीक है. Legal risk arise from change in laws and embargoes that restrict the exporter. True. Country risk or political risk include risk from a weak foreign exchange reserve or political instability. बिल्कुल सही है वो आप लोग लग रहा है. Operational risk refer to exclusively failure of exporters internal system causing export operational risk exclusively to failure in exporters internal system causing shipment delays. हाँ, it can be, ठीक है, बिल्कुल सही. Exchange risk relate to adverse currency movements impacting. हाँ बिल्कुल सही, आप सब लोग करेक्ट हैं एकदम, सॉरी. हाँ, तो आई वॉज जस्ट चेकिंग. ऑल देखते हैं ना, मेरे को थोड़ा सा लगता है कि कुछ तो गड़बड़ है करके आपका, ठीक है. सो ऑल स्टेटमेंट्स आर करेक्ट हियर, राइट? ऑल द स्टेटमेंट्स, ठीक है. ऑल को देख के थोड़ा सा डाउटफुल लगता है, बट ठीक है, चलो करेक्ट है. अब इन्होंने ऑर्डर operational risk does not exclusively to the exporter internal system, it also include disruption in supply. ओके, अच्छा देखो यहाँ पे इन्होंने थोड़ा सा, चलो बहुत बढ़िया. हाँ, दैट्स व्हाई रिकॉल ना कि आई व्हेनेवर आई क्रिएट द क्वेश्चन आई डू नॉट give a chance for the all things and all. So operational risk does not relate exclusively, exclusive word is here, ठीक है, or not. So exclusively to failure of the exporter internal system. It can be some reason others आपका, ठीक है, जैसे disruption at suppliers, transporters, bank, or the other one also, ठीक है, the other parties involved in that particular trade, they also part of this one, ठीक है. So I was very confident about all of the above आपका कि ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, because whenever I create the question I usually avoid that particular one in CAIIB examination. So this is the one, ठीक है. So it is exclusively, मतलब it is only whether related to the exporters internal thing. No, it is, we have other parties also, the third party who is supplying the goods, or the transporters, or the bank, or the other supporting agents, ठीक है, they also get involved in that particular case, ठीक है. चलो next one. Okay, bit lengthy question, ठीक है. चलो एक बार थोड़ा सा रीड आउट कीजिए guys, what will be your correct answer for this one? ये दिख रहा है ना आपको? आई होप दिस इज विजिबल, राइट? ये दिख रहा है, थोड़ा सा लेट चल रहा है क्या? हाँ, इट इज विजिबल ना, यस. थोड़ा सा जोर लगेगा आंखों पे, दोज हु आर वाचिंग ऑन मोबाइल. सो व्हाई अ बैंक, an authorized dealer bank engage in international trade finance, it has exposure in the form of nostro balances, overseas corporate loans, and investment in foreign bonds. The bank has not developed its own country risk ratings system and currently relies on ECGC country risk classification updated on quarterly. I hope this, मतलब ये subtopic is this. There is one subtopic which we have discussed in our concept classes also. ठीक है, तो वेयर वी हैव क्लासिफिकेशन फ्रॉम ए टू डी आपका, ठीक है. ए मीन्स हाई क्रेडिट वर्दी नेशंस एंड डी इज आपका वेयर द रिस्क प्रोबेबिलिटी इज वेरी हाई, राइट. तो ECGC used to provide this data on quarterly basis. If you are doing export in those particular countries, let's say if you are doing export in country D, those who are categorized under country D, there are 10 countries which generally fall under the country D, ठीक है. तो if you are doing export in that particular one, that means risk probability is very high, ठीक है. अगर आप if you take the policy from ECGC, we are going to charge higher amount and even that is something कि जहाँ पे आपको थोड़ा सा you have to take some sort of caution, ठीक है. So bank exposure as on this आपका 1.5% of total country A, rated B to country A, this is country A, rated B2 by ECGC 0.8% of country B, sorry, it is 0.8%, 1.5% in country आपका rated B, 0.80% आपका C, 1.2% in आपका rated D, this is rated D, 0.50% in आपका rated A1, ठीक है. A1 is आपका finest quality, ठीक है, as I can recall this one, ठीक है. Bank plan to review the risk mitigation strategy considering RBI guidelines on country risk and tool available to mitigate exchange risk. Okay? So now the question is based on the above scenario, RBI guidelines on country risk, which of the following statements are correct? बताओ दोस्तों क्या होगा correct statement आपका? The bank must make specific provision for exposure in country A and country C. Their exposure exceed 1% of total asset. A bank must make specific provision for exposures in countries A and C as their exposure exceed 1% of total asset. Bank can continue rely solely on ECGC classification, but should consider developing its own country. आपका this true. Bank country B exposure does not require provision as it is below 1%. Even through the classified as moderate and high risk. Country B, okay. Bank must specific. Country A and C. I just want to see the country A and C. Country A आपका B2. हाँ, country A comes under B2 and another one is country C. C, whereas country C आपका 1.2. हाँ, बिल्कुल सही. Statement 1 is also correct here. Country B, which generally comes under country B, whereas country B, country B आपका, ठीक है. So 0.80% 1, हाँ बिल्कुल करेक्ट है. Statement third is also correct ना, below 1%, even though the classified as the moderate risk. To mitigate exchange risk, the bank should use forward covers for future options, currency swap and all. Bank should classify country C exposure under the restricted cover. Country C, आपका country C 1.2 and exposure under the restricted cover group 2 and consider the limiting further exposure or hedging appropriately true. All statements are correct, ठीक है. So आपका in this case we have option D should be right answer for this one, ठीक है. Now if you have any question, अब पिछले बात पे चले जाएंगे तो गड़बड़ हो जाएगा, ठीक है. These all exposures are correct, ठीक है. Please go through this particular one. ECGC, they generally provide this particular data country wise rating, ठीक है. We have A to D. A is basically countries regarding the A, they have high credit worthiness, means less default probabilities in all team. Country D, they have less credit worthiness, high probability of default. Okay? Accordingly, we have to maintain the margin also. This we have covered during the concept classes and also. Please do watch this one. Okay? So all the statements are generally correct in this particular case. आपका ठीक है, सारे statements क्या हैं, correct है. अच्छा, who relies on that previous statement कि आपका whenever it comes to the all of the above, that will not the right answer. ठीक है, चलो कोई बात नहीं, आगे आगे बढ़ते हैं. Next one. Next one, guys. Next one. What will be your correct answer? Which of the following statement about export credit insurance and international trade are correct. This is easy. This seems easy. आपका आसान लग रहा है. Santosh sir relies on that one, I guess, huh? Because Santosh sir was answering right so far. My one statement, huh? इसकी वजह से सब गड़बड़ हो गया ऐसा. So export credit insurance help exporter and financing bank by covering losses arising from political and commercial risk associated with export transaction. Export credit insurance in India primarily provided by ECGC. A government of India established this. True आपका ठीक है. Export credit insurance usually cover 100% of the default risk. Export credit insurance usually cover 100%, requiring no losses sharing by the आपका exporter or financer. This statement is wrong. ठीक है. Basically आपका if it comes to the ECGC, they generally provide up to 90% of coverage, 90-95%. Remaining is borne by the bank itself. ठीक है. So this is मतलब basically they have a 90% status आपका on an average. ठीक है. The remaining 10% is generally borne by the bank itself. So 1 and 2. ऑप्शन ए विल बी राइट आंसर फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन. हाँ बिल्कुल सही, सभी करेक्ट है आपका यहाँ पे. चलो नेक्स्ट वन. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट अबाउट ईसीजीसी एंड पॉलिसीज आर करेक्ट? नाउ वी विल बी प्रैक्टिसिंग 3-4 क्वेश्चन बैक टू बैक रिलेटेड टू ईसीजीसी पॉलिसीज. दे आर वेरी वेरी कंफ्यूजिंग, बहुत कंफ्यूजिंग है आपका ईसीजीसी पॉलिसीज, बट प्रैक्टिस इज द ओनली मंत्र. जितनी बार आप इनको प्रैक्टिस करोगे उतना ज्यादा आपके लिए हेल्पफुल होगा. ठीक है, तो बताओ क्या होगा गाइस? Please quickly go through the statements. अच्छा हाँ okay. इजी क्वेश्चन है, बन जाएगा सबसे. सुजाता मैम इज सेइंग ऑप्शन ए 1 2 3. ओके, remaining guys, anyone else who want to answer this one? Santosh sir is saying option C will be right answer, means 2 3 4. What is the issue with the statement 1? We have to find out the correct statement na. What is the issue with statement 1? That is correct also na. देखो, ECGC offer insurance cover exporter against commercial and political risk that may lead to non-realization of the export proceed. True. Small exporter policy by ECGC, an enhanced version of this standard policy. Usually policies are around the standard policy. ठीक है, but standard policy के we have different variants. इसके बहुत सारे अलग अलग छोटे छोटे निकाले गए हैं. So that is, it is small exporter policy is part of this one, that is generally encouraged for the this one. ठीक है. ECGC provide export credit guarantee, credit insurance for bank that cover whole turnover both at the packing and आपका post shipment. This is whole turnover के अंदर this is आपका provided. Specific shipment policy offered by ECGC cover export risk only related to goods. आपका नहीं, specific shipment, it is about the shipment, it can be either goods or service. This statement is wrong. ECGC offer a factoring facility for MSME that include working capital finance and collection of bill. आपका true. तो 1 2 3 5 1 2 3 5. ठीक है, ऑप्शन बी शुड बी राइट आंसर फॉर दिस वन. यस, हाँ बिल्कुल. पूजिशा मैम मार्क द करेक्ट आंसर आई गेस ओनली, राइट. यस, बाकी और सी डी में है. ठीक है, so the only statement wrong is this: specific shipment policies cover export on deferred payments, buyer's credit or service, and turnkey project abroad. So it includes service and project also, not only goods. आपका ठीक है. So that is around this particular one. चलो कोई बात नहीं. अगला, Mr. Sharma, an Indian exporter who has taken an ECGC shipment. ECGC shipment and policy is comprehensive policy. Comprehensive policy for the short-term export shipments to various countries. Recently he faced the following issues. आपका ठीक है. So comprehensive policy which cover both आपका political risk as well as the commercial risk. तो आपको ये बात यहाँ पे ध्यान रखनी है. ठीक है, तो अब एक बार स्टेटमेंट को रीड आउट कीजिए. So it cover both आपका political as well as your आपका commercial risk. The overseas buyer become insolvent and failed to pay the goods accepted within the 5 months from the due date. It is ECGC shipment. Shipment है, पहले तो ध्यान रखिएगा shipment है और दूसरा comprehensive. Two things, two keywords for this particular question which you have to consider. Due to political unrest, first statement insolvent failed in this. Unrest, civil disturbance, buyers' payments and all. Okay, the buyers refused to accept the goods during the shipment. The Vogue was interrupted outside India, causing additional freight charges. The buyer raised commercial dispute and this. Okay, buyer raised a commercial dispute for quality of goods. There was damage to goods during the transit, insured separately. So it is insured separately. Please consider this. Exchange rate fluctuations. Okay? Easy question, guys. Easy question. What will be your correct answer for this one? So which of the following situation is covered under ECGC shipment comprehensive? Okay? Shipment comprehensive. So what will be your correct answer? Anyone who want to answer this question, guys? A, Pujisha ma'am is saying A and okay. We have Shilpa ma'am is saying A, okay, and Sujata ma'am is saying B. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 6 is there is damage to goods. So I got your point. Okay. So see, it's a comprehensive ECC shipment. These first 4 statements are correct. Okay. Overseas buyer become insolvent means commercial risk. Political unrest आपका political risk. Buyer refused to accept the goods without any valid reason, commercial risk. During the shipment, the work was interrupted, आपका again political risk. ठीक है? So these are generally categorized under commercial and political. They all get covered. Now, why these are not covered? ठीक है? Why these are not covered under this policy or under any other policy also? ठीक है? Buyer raised the commercial dispute regarding the quality of goods. You give some sort of different commitment while you made the sale agreement, but now you are selling some different defective products or others. So insurance company is not going to entertain that one. Okay? The another one is there was a damage of goods during transition. अब if the statement किसने लिखा था ये आपका सुजाता मैम, if we have this much statement only then you are correct, but here they have taken a separate insurance for that particular one, so that another company will be liable for that one. ECGC is not going to pay for that one. Okay? So due to exchange rate fluctuation are also not covered under this particular policy. So 1, 2, 3, 4 means option A will be right answer for this particular one. Understood, guys? Santosh sir also. Santosh sir is saying C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Exchange rate fluctuations आपका incurred a loss in INRs after the payment was received. After the payment was received and all, they are not covered in this one. Okay? Let's say this is something like, let's say you receive the payment in dollars, you are keeping those dollars for years. ECGC will not responsible for that one. Okay? So basically these are the areas and not covered under this particular one. Correct hai? Understood, guys? Everyone, please do remember this one. Next one. Which of the following statement about small exporter policy and specific shipment short-term policy? Two policies are here. Small exporter policy and specific shipment term policy. Okay? And you have to find out the correct statement. Okay? All policies which are part of your curriculum, we will go through those particular one. Okay? I'll just give you a look. So see, you guys will get confused. I also get confused so many times. Okay? There is no offense in that one. But the thing is, as much as you can recall or practice, I'll keep these particular question in your module A mock also. So you just have to go through and attempt again and again. That will help you, right? चलो बताओ क्या होगा correct answer, guys? Small exporter policy cover insolvency of buyer and failure to pay within 2 months from the due date, but does not cover the exchange fluctuations. ठीक है, statement 1 is true. Specific shipment short term policy can cover commercial and political risk for shipments made under the contract where the exporter does not hold a comprehensive policy. It is get covered under this one. Both policies cover loss due to commercial dispute raised by the buyers. ठीक है, commercial dispute by the buyers, it is we just talk around this one. ठीक है, और small exporter policy can be issued for a period up to 24 months, while the specific shipment policy cover credit period not exceeding 360 months आपका. ठीक है, 360 days आपका. ठीक है, तो ये what is like क्या है आपका स्मॉल एक्सपोर्टर पॉलिसी. सो इट शुड बी आपका 12 months. ठीक है, एंड इट शुड बी आपका इफ इट कम्स टू द शॉर्ट टर्म पॉलिसी इट शुड बी आपका 180 days. ठीक है, 180 days. सो दिस इज ऑल्सो रॉन्ग. Political risk covered under both policies, including what this 100% true. So 135 means 135. No, 125 means option B should be right answer for this particular one. B will be right answer, guys. So this is आपका 3. Both policies exclude commercial dispute unless the exporter obtain a court. Okay, what was the statement? Policies cover losses due to the commercial dispute. It is about the commercial dispute आपका, sorry. So both policies exclude the commercial dispute unless the exporter obtain a court decree in buyer's country are favoring them. The third one is statement 4 is आपका small exporter policy is issued for 12 months and it is for 180 days आपका. So that is the time framing for these two policies. Next one, which of the following statement are correct regarding ECGC policies for export to specific buyers? ECGC policy for specific, basically it is specific buyers policy. Buyers exposure and export turnover, these are the 3 different policies. ठीक है, 3 different policies आपका जो यहाँ पे है, specific buyer, buyer exposure and आपका export turnover policies, and you have to find out the correct statement. बताओ. So a buyer exposure provide coverage for both LC and non-LC transaction, including LC bank failures for rank up to, it should be आपका more than 25,000 in bankers LMANC without requiring any further approvals, with requiring further approvals. ठीक है, तो first statement is wrong. Buyer wise political policy which will cover the political things. Short term avail export who hold a standard policy, yes, can be. ठीक है, so you have standard policy and for the political risk you can avail this particular one. Exposure policy permit exporters to selectively cover only political risk for LC transaction or shipment associated or subject to endorsement and reduced premiums आपका. Under the export turnover policy, exporters with a projected ECGC premium contribution to at least 10 lakh per annum are eligible. It is 10 lakh or 20 lakh now. ठीक है, this please do cross check this particular. Earlier it was 10 lakh आपका. ठीक है, earlier it was 10 lakh but right now एक बार इसको ना कंफर्म कीजिएगा आपका. ठीक है, I'll just check this one. The buyer exposure policy can be used to cover multiple buyers. No, it is आपका single buyer to buyer आपका. ठीक है, one buyers, another buyers. So for others one we have different 2, 3, 4. Yes, D must be right answer. And just please check this आपका this premium contribution ना. Earlier it was 10 lakh, now it is I guess 20 lakh or what. ठीक है, so ये जो question था आपका, this we have framed through the book itself. So please do cross check this one. This 10 lakh वाला rule आपका. September 370 days. Veshlani ma'am, 360 days. What are you saying? 360 days, 370 days. Ma'am, you are watching some last question or what? Like, I guess you are watching the late. You are watching this particular session late, right? Yes, huh. Comprehensive policy that can be, but it is आपका it was around the आपका buyer exposure policy. तो इस exposure is generally we have provided exposure to each and individual buyers आपका, ठीक है? So that is related to this one. चलो next one guys, next question. Next question, please quickly go through the question. ECGC policies for various export segments. So ECGC policies for various export segments. What will be your correct answer? Vaishali ma'am, I guess he is watching from the beginning itself, na? That's why the answer are coming from the late. Okay, chalo. The consignment, sorry, consignment export stock holding agent policy apply only when the overseas agent is legal entity affiliated with the exporters or its group companies. Consignment export stock holding agent policy apply only when the overseas agent is legal entity affiliated with the export. It is not necessarily affiliated with the आपका exporter group of companies and all. Under IT enable service policy, only a single policy is issued per buyers for a period of 12 months with a risk coverage including commercial, political and LC opening bank risk through bank exporters policy. Sorry, micro exporters policy MEP is available only to service sectors. No, it is available for all. Manufacturing also basically. The extent of cover under the SITES policy is capped at 80%. MEP manufacturing micro export policy provide a higher cover of 80% and this stock holdings and your IT enabled service policy is 80%. This can be right, 80% and 90%. Under the consignment export policy, the agent may sell goods in their own names, but such sales remain on behalf of and the risk of the Indian exporter. Acha, 10 lakh is na? Okay. So that is 10 lakh only. Earlier, there was some policy who got extended after 10 to 20 lakh, but I was little bit doubtful around that one. Okay? So what will be a correct answer, guys? In this case, this is also right now. So 2, 3, 2, 4, 5. 2, 4, 5 means A should be right answer for this one. So first one is policy required that the overseas agent must not be affiliated. Again, second one is आपका micro enterprise cover both manufacturing, sorry, micro policies, they generally cover both आपका there is no restrictions around the manufacturing and all, right? Okay, chalo, next one guys, next one, bit lengthy statement, please go through this particular one. A bank has extended the following export related facilities: 3 crore pre-shipment loan to exporter A, unpaid 4+ month, 1.5 crore advance to exporter B, backed by export incentive receivables. 2 crores post shipments finance to exporters. C, ECGC policy holder, export bill unpaid due to buyer insolvency. 1 crore post shipments advance to exporter D. Non policy holders means non policy holder of ECGC defaulted bill drawn on associate concern. 0.75 crores post shipment advances to exporter E. Documents sent on collection basis unpaid for 180 days. So these are the loan. Now this, which of the following statements are correct? Statement 1, A is covered under the packing credit insurance subject to condition. 3 crore pre-shipments A unpaid 4 months. Okay, A is right now. Is there any issue with A? A seems correct आपका. ठीक है. Can be covered B आपका 1.5 crore advance to exporter B backed by export incentive receivables. So can be covered under the exporter protection finance guarantee with concessional premium of ECIC exist आपका. ठीक है. This is also correct. C आपका 2 crores post shipment finance for exporter C ECGC policy holders. So eligible for 95% cover under the ECIB WTPS. ठीक है. Correct आपका. D get 50% cover as it's a non-policy holder with associate bill. D was 1 crore post shipment advance to exporter D, non-policy holder, defaulted bill on associate concern. ठीक है. So D is get 50% cover as it's a non-policy holders with the associate bill. D also seems correct. ठीक है. E आपका 51E 0.75 crores post shipments advance to exporter E, documents sent on collection basis unpaid for 180 days. Is E is the single under the ECIB with up to 95% advance policy holders. So it is also correct. Premium for ECIB is paid by bank. It is not paid by bank. It is paid by the customer or the exporter. Exporter, it should be exporter आपका. So this is wrong. ECIB cover only LC, not collection basis. ECIB cover on okay. This statement 7. Anyone who want to answer this one? क्या होना चाहिए आपका correct answer? C. C means this last statement also doubtful. ठीक है. I'll not go 1 2 3 4 5. ठीक है. कहाँ पे 1 2 3 4 5. I'll go ना C. This 6 is wrong ना. C 6 is wrong आपका. ठीक है. 6 why 6 is wrong? Premium for ECIB is generally eventually paid by the exporter आपका, not by the bank itself. ठीक है. This is statement 6. So that means आपका B should be right answer for this one. ठीक है. I'll go with option B आपका. अच्छा ओके वैसलिनी मैम आई थॉट यू आर लेट. सो पोस्ट शिपमेंट इंश्योरेंस डज कवर collection basis, not for the just आपका LC basis. ठीक है. This is the statement and this is आपका it is by the exporter, not by the banks. Rest all statements were correct आपका. ठीक है. B is the right answer in that case. ठीक है. चलो अगला. Which of the above statement correctly match with the applicable ECGC cover or eligible for protection? ठीक है. This is your question guys. I hope this is visible now. Which of the above are correctly matched with the applicable ECGC cover or eligible for protection आपका. ठीक है. बट इट शुड बी ओके. चलो ठीक है. आगे बढ़ते हैं. नेक्स्ट वन गाइस, प्लीज गो थ्रू दिस स्टेटमेंट. ABC Bank engaged in various export-linked financing and guarantee arrangement. Carefully study this one, Tim. So basically, under the standard ECGC guarantee or insurance policy, the bank confirmed a foreign letter of credit for 25 crore issued by a bank in Turkey, but the Turkish bank failed to reimburse after the Indian bank honored the draft. What we have to find out, applicable ECGC cover. हाँ, so this will be applicable आपका, ठीक है, this will be applicable under the आपका protection, ठीक है, eligible, this will be eligible for the protection or the ECGC cover. ABC Bank grant 100 crore as buyer credit to a government owned entity in Kenya for purchase of Indian machinery and later suffered 20% loss due to political unrest and moratorium on outward remittances in Kenya. So this will be also covered under the policy itself. The bank grant post shipment credit of 5 crore to an exporter against expected duty drawback of 60 lakh. The exporter default. The bank grant post shipment credit of 5 crore to an exporter against expected duty drawback of 60 lakh. 5 crore 60 lakh. This I'm doubtful. I'll not mark this one. The sorry. Next one, guys. The bank finance a contractor overseas project with a foreign currency loan of 5 million due to the contractor insolvency. So it will be guaranteed or protected. An exporter using open account sales terms seek protection under factoring. However, the buyer has defaulted multiple time in past, so it will not get covered. Okay, and even we have 4 limits आपका, ठीक है, if that got exhausted it will not cover, ठीक है. ABC Bank invest 75 crores in a joint venture in Myanmar through an equity for a power project. In 8 years the government of Myanmar nationalized the project without compensation, ठीक है, without compensation, so it should get covered under this particular one ना, हाँ, it should be covered, ठीक है. It is a basically country आपको political risk है. A large exporter expecting to pay 12 lakh in ECGC premium annually request a policy that merge both post shipment and buyer's credit under a single contract. This can be done in case of आपका credit worthiness and all. ठीक है, तो सारे नहीं, 1A, B and anyone who want to comment on this particular one they can mention, ठीक है. So I'll go with A, B, D, F, G, ठीक है. A, B, D, no, not C. A, B, D, F, G. हाँ, option B should be right answer for this one. Correct है. हाँ, Pujisha ma'am and Santosh sir are saying option B should be right answer for this particular one. ठीक है. So see, this statement C and one another statement was there. E आपका, ठीक है, C and E. So while post shipment credit against export incentives duty drawback can be guaranteed under post shipment advance cover if the exporter fail or default is on incentive realization, loss is not always fully covered, okay? Loss is not always fully covered, especially if incentive are not realized or deemed not eligible, okay? So first thing, and factoring is not allowed in one-time bulk transaction, while buyers having default history not eligible due to track records and lack of continuous trade relationship. So that is the argument for this one. Chalo, next one. ECGC policies and financial guarantee. ECGC policies and financial guarantee. Please go through this one. ECGC policies and financial guarantee, and you have to find out the correct statement. Correct. ECGC cover the entire amount ECGC credit insurance protect fall under the regulatory framework of IRDA, and bank now pay a monthly premium in arrears based on the product financed. Okay? So what will be your correct answer? ECGC, which generally comes under the R IRDA आपका, there is no doubt, but the second statement आपका not in arrears, it should be आपका upfront, ठीक है? It should be upfront, not arrears आपका, it should be upfront. I'll not go with this one, and this is clearly wrong. The ECGC entire amount of export, or like they generally finance आपका how much? 90-95%. Okay, this we have discussed earlier also. Under whole turnover policy or WTP, exporter and bank must submit monthly declarations along with the application premium to the local ECGC office आपका 100% true. There is no doubt with this. If a bank cover part of advance from collateral securities after ECGC has paid a claim under uh, WTPS policy, it must return the recovered amount entirely to the ECGC आपका, ठीक है? What will be your correct answer for this one? It should be आपका under a whole turnover. If a bank recover part of the advance from the collateral securities, recover a part of the advance, so it should be like, let's say we have recovered the 30%, so then 30% should be shared with this particular one first of all. ठीक है? Claim in the your whole turnover policy, नहीं. It should be up. This should be wrong आपका, ठीक है? Not the entire things. Whatever we'll receive, we have to make the payment. ठीक है? Let's say we receive claim from the ECGC. Later on, if we receive something that we have to proportionally, we have to transfer with ECGC. In high political risk countries under the restricted cover, ECGC provides specific approval valid for 6 months, and bank must check the specific approval list for the borrower's approvals. This is also correct. Okay? तो 3 and 5 आपका, ठीक है? A must be right answer for this one. Correct है? A होगा ना correct answer आपका, ठीक है? Yes. So A will be the right answer for this one. ठीक है? Statement 1 is incorrect. ECGC policies are issued on risk sharing basis. So where 90-95% is borne by the ECGC, rest by the bank. 2 is आपका, while ECGC governed by the IRDA, premium are now paid upfront आपका, not in arrears. ठीक है? 4 is only the proportional share of the recovery, let's say 65%, if ECGC settles 65% is refunded to ECGC, not the entire amount आपका, ठीक है? That is the this one. ठीक है? Next one. चलो quickly guys, next question. ECGC policies and claim are correct. Exporter must ensure that the maximum liability under the policy cover amount due from all overseas buyer and bank at any given time. So first statement आपका, this is clear, and 10% से ज़्यादा है तो they'll be enter into caution list and all. Exporter can initiate further shipment to overseas buyer even if there are outstanding defaults on earlier payments, provided no, it is not allowed by the ECGC. Claim from the claim form must be submitted within 12 months from the date of the unpaid bill, with a premium kept up to date. True. The next one, settle ECGC will settle claim for no more than 4 buyers. This is again correct. If your default are more than 5, they are, for the 5th one they are not going to settle. ठीक है? मतलब इसका simple सा मतलब, let's say one exporter have done export like 6 export and all the 6 export got defaulted. That means ECGC will pay for the first 4 only. Settlement of claim by ECGC fully relieves for exporter of the responsibility, no, ठीक है. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आपका if you have received the money you have to keep digging in with the आपका that buyers. You have to keep putting your efforts forth so you can recover that one, ठीक है. And once you recover you have to pass on with the bank, you have to pass on to the ECC, and the even the claim which you will receive, that you will receive through the bank only, ठीक है. This statement is also wrong. So 134 means 134, हाँ, option D will be right answer for this particular one, ठीक है. Must be shared with the, if they are receiving any amount in future from the buyers, they have to share with the your आपका ECGC itself, ठीक है. चलो next one. So now the unit number 8, so we have done with this one, ठीक है. Now unit number 8 आपका, ठीक है. Role of EXIM, RBI and exchange control. This is very easy one because we have discussed this particular these guidelines in first or second one also, ठीक है. It will not take our much time. In IFSCA, very important but very small one, and technology. Chalo, start with this one, guys. Which of the following statement regarding Exim Bank of India are correct? Please quickly answer this one. What will be your correct answer, guys? So, Exim Bank was set up under the specific act of parliament in the early 90s to facilitate short-term export credit. Okay? When it was get established, आपका 1981, not early 90s, आपका, 1981. So this is wrong. First statement itself wrong. One of the core aim of Exim Bank is to offer Indian exporter advisory services and information on a new export opportunities. आपका 100% true. This is 100% true. Exim Bank play a key role in supporting cross-border trade and overseas investment. It offer both pre-shipment and post-shipment finance too. Exim Bank focus exclusively on large industries. Wrong. ठीक है. So 2, 3 or 4 means option A will be right answer for this one. Very easy question. Yes, next one. So please quickly go through this statement. Sorry. Hey, Musk, what's up? See what is going on here. Done, guys. It's a very lengthy question. Please carefully read. We got one new student here. Always, it's like now time is over. Musk, what do you want? Chalo, sit here. Want to go up? Go. His name is Musk. Pujisha. He's wearing Musk t-shirt. He's Dhoni fan army. He's part of Dhoni fan army. Okay. So sorry, guys. So what should be your recommendation in this case? Anyone who gone through this question seriously? Okay. So in the company planning to undertake a large water infrastructure development project in Africa. The project involves civil engineering work, consultancy services, supply of electronic equipments. African government is the awarding authority. The and they are interested in deferred payment terms. Raghav is also exploring long-term financing avenues, competitive bidding, working capital optimization, and market expansion in Africa. His company is also discussion with another Indian SME cluster to set up a joint venture abroad to supply construction material. So, what is your answer on this one? What will be your correct answer? No, he is not in my control. He is like that Elon Musk itself. Yeah? Both are same. He's not in control. Santosh sir, he's very time bound. Morning 5 a.m. we have to get up and we have to go for the walk. Then right now he's like, your time is over now. Go. Okay, chalo. So what you guys are suggesting? D आपका okay. I'll just check that option only. ठीक है. Buyer's credit for overseas government to import Indian EPC services. Uh, okay. The overseas investment financing setting up joint ventures abroad. This can be another. Project export finance for supporting execution of civil work and suppliers. Line of credit for enabling the African governments to import. बिल्कुल सही 100% true. Option D must be right answer for this one. Correct है? Very good guys. Very good. ठीक है. So option D must be right answer for this one. Correct है? चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. Which of the following statement correctly relate export marketing funds and product liability insurance program administrated and by supported by the EXIM itself. ठीक है, चलो बताओ क्या होगा आंसर दोस्तों. अरे थैंक यू सो मच हिमांशी मैम. चलो क्या होगा करेक्ट आंसर गाइस. व्हाट विल बी योर करेक्ट आंसर फॉर दिस वन. नाउ आई विल स्पीक बिट लेस. खांसी हो रही है एक्चुअली. आई एम गेटिंग कफ. Uchula ma'am saying आपका option B should be right answer for this one. Okay. Anyone else guys? Statement 1 is wrong na. Statement हाँ. EMF 1 and 2 was part of the World Bank, but this 3 is generally part of the EXIM आपका. ठीक है. It is an initiative of EXIM itself. ठीक है. तो first statement, if you have any doubt, please, this is wrong. ठीक है. Under the EMF, Export Marketing Fund, eligible activities include market research, overseas travel, and tooling equipments. PLI support is targeted toward the export entering OECD, OECD market where the litigation risks are high. बिल्कुल सही. ठीक है. So Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development markets where the litigation risks are high. They are generally part of this particular one. ठीक है. High cost of PLI premium adversely affect the price competitiveness. This is also true. EMF funding is restricted to government owned funds. No, it is not restricted. So 234 means option B. Yes, option B will be right answer for this particular one. Okay. Next one. Correct regarding EXIM Bank line of credit program for countries. Okay. So EXIM Bank line of credit program, like for we provided for Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and others. Okay. So what will be your correct answer for this one, guys? There is nothing called upfront payment, I guess. It should be after the receiving of the documents. This statement is doubtful or maybe wrong. Indian exporter receive pre-shipment finance only after obtaining an order and confirmation letter. This is the right one. Okay, for this one. Okay, so 100% this statement is wrong. This is right. Exporter must submit shipping documents through their regular banker to claim reimbursement. Deferred payment terms under the line of credit typically range from 3 to 5 years from the importing governments. आपका again 100% true. ठीक है. The operating agency in the buyer's country play no role in the ordering process. They have a significant role also. ठीक है. So again 234 means आपका option B should be right answer for this one. ठीक है. So the operating agency in the buyer's country does issue order under the line of credit. आपका ठीक है. So again the B was the right answer for this one. Next one, guys. In the context of Reserve Bank of India role and exchange controlling, these we have discussed earlier also. Okay, with the forex and all. Can we skip these questions, guys? Can we directly come to the आपका IFSCA? These are the similar question which we have practiced earlier also. Okay, but the guidelines related, rules and regulation related. ठीक है. Actually I'm getting bit cough तो थोड़ा सा दिक्कत हो रहा है. So exchange control in India first introduced through the FEMA. No, it is what was it was Defense of India. ठीक है, Defense of India 1935. ठीक है, so it was Defense of India Act 1935. Then आपका FERA 1973. Then आपका FEMA. ठीक है, FEMA came at end आपका. ठीक है, so this is wrong. First statement. Okay, we'll discuss this question. RBI is empowered to under the FEMA to issue the directions and impose penalties authorized person non-compliances. RBI issue guidelines under FEMA authorized person DIR series circulars related to various foreign exchange transaction including INR investment. FEMA 1919 replaced FERA, part of India liberalization process, and become effective from this. RBI responsible for collecting and compelling foreign exchange data related to export imports international. This is also true. So 2345 means option C should be right answer for this particular one. Yes, bilkul Ujjwala ma'am. So option C is the right answer for that.